Hi, it's Sandy Wiley. We're going to take a break with this video today. A break from Carl Jung's archetypes. And I'm going to read to you out of my book, Love Bombed by a Harvard Psychologist. I couldn't believe where we ended up. He crossed every boundary imaginable, except having full-blown sex. I remember the therapy session where I had him lay on the analysis couch that he made with his own hands, and I sat in his therapy chair analyzing him. He told me about the time when he was a toddler and his father was far away in the South Pacific. During this time, which would be in the mid-40s, 1940s, his mother gave birth to a stillborn baby. Rick thought that this was his one and only sister. I had to disguise the name. I call him Rick in this book, but we all know his real name. See the bomb? His mother suffered a Great Depression during this time. I believe that is why he wanted to become a psychologist. He wanted to fix his mother. People go into this profession because they are trying to relive and correct something traumatic from their own past. It was so unnerving to sit in this therapist's chair while he was being the patient. So I had my psychologist on the couch, my Harvard psychologist, and I was in his therapy chair analyzing him. It's like going to the doctor's for an internal exam and having the doctor lay on the table without any clothes on with their feet in the stirrups. And the patient going inside their body giving the pap smear. I was going inside this doctor's head as he was free associating with me while lying on the couch. Free association is when the patient says whatever's on their mind. During another session, when I was on the floor with him, as we usually were, I was giving him a full-blown back massage. All the way from his neck and shoulders, massaging the neck and shoulders, all the way down his back to right where the strap, his belt strap is. right below there. I got to be careful what I say because this is YouTube. This was so inappropriate. I couldn't believe it. I asked him how he was feeling, and he said good. His wife worked in the next room, too, because she was a psychiatrist, and he's a psychologist, and they shared a waiting room. So her office was on the left, there was a waiting room, a small waiting room, and his office was on the right. Little did she know what was going on during my therapy sessions with her husband. I could feel every curve of his body. I knew he had a mole on his chest because I felt it with my hands. He even unbuttoned his shirt during a session, so I could see all the hair on his torso. And then I performed a striptease during one session, and I'm going to read about that striptease. And the infamous striptease session. Now, the way I have to read it is I have to be very careful because if I say too much, too explicitly, they won't allow it on YouTube, and I won't get monetized for this. So they come down very, very strict with their rules. So, Doctor and Sandy, I wonder how you're feeling about your son's operation. You must be very anxious. Now, my son had heart surgery because he had a faulty wire in his heart, which made his heart race uncontrollably. His pulse would climb to very dangerous levels, and he could go into cardiac arrest. And he was only 6-7 years old during this time. So he needed surgery for the doctor to take that faulty wire out. um, it was a very traumatic time. Remember, I already had a very sick brain damaged child who was in the hospital for 2 years, and then my other child needed heart surgery. For his credit, I will say that he did go to the hospital when my son was in surgery and spend some time with me visiting. So, and this is what I say: I'm feeling very psychotic. You did not make up the holiday appointment. And he says, I should have told you I did not reschedule with patients for that holiday. My mistake. And I say, you didn't reschedule anyone? He explains, no, but since you thought I did, you probably felt rejected. Yes, that makes me feel better. I'm afraid of allowing myself to get close to you. I'm so afraid you're going to hurt me. Boy, was that an understatement. I could predict back then, and this was in 2006, I believe, when this happened. When I bared myself to him. This was 2006, so you know when it was. This is also when I was coming 5 hours a week. And he was also seeing my son Austin, who was having heart surgery. So he was, which is something he shouldn't have done, because he shouldn't have seen a family member of mine. Just like he shouldn't have seen the psychologist that I was having sex with, because you shouldn't see anyone that the patient is related to or who knows personally. That, because you really can't be impartial like that. And he says, you have been feeling closer to me lately. When you feel closer, your instinct is to run away. But you didn't run away this time. And I say, I feel I want to be even closer to you today. So I'm going to take off my shirt and everything else to show you, to be my total self to you. Now, that's not what I have written here in this book, okay? It's very graphic what I say to him, and as I'm taking off layer upon layer. But to get this out to YouTube, to get it out to the masses, I can't say what's in the book. You're going to have to buy the book. It's only I think it's only $10. So it's, it's very affordable, And also I think I have a Kindle version for like $2 or $3. You can read it on Kindle. So there's really no reason why you can't, read this yourself, the graphic part. You feel closer to me by taking off your shirt, he says. Yes, I'm happy you didn't try to stop me or tell me to put it back on. Because I wouldn't have listened to you anyway. Every session I come in here, I get excited. I fell in love with you from the first moment I laid eyes on you. I never felt like this before in my entire life. And I'm 40 years old. That was true. He was the first person that I fell head over heels in love with. And Jim, the psychologist I had a 2-year affair with, he was the second person that I fell in love with. And that's it. I've only been in love twice in my life. And it's funny because they both met each other. And Jim, the one I had an affair with, became Dick's patient. And me and Jim went to Dick for couples therapy. Now I'm going to take off my soaking wet, can't say anything, and I'm going to, on your arm, so you can feel my heat. I want to duck your sock, right? You can see, it rhymes with, I can't say what it is because just fill in the blank. I want to duck your sock. Rhymes with duck and rhymes with sock. Fill in the blanks. I want to lie over your lap so that you can pank my, can't say it. You'll feel special if we have sex? Yes, very special. Then he grabbed my wrists. Can't you see how much I want you? I've never offered myself to anyone like this. And then we would have a special relationship that you've been longing for, he says. Yes, that's right. And then I beg him, I tell him what I want to do to him, of course. And he replies, while I'm totally without clothes on and he's holding my wrist, and that way I would become a part of you and never forget you. Yes, that's right. I've waited my whole life for this. Has any other patient ever taken their clothes off and asked you for sex? And he says, no, you are the first to do so. Back then, I always wanted to be like the first person to do this, the first person to do that. So I'd be unique. I'd be special because like no one else has ever done this before, only moi. So he says, no, you are the first person to do this. I tried to read it in a way that let's see, that would be permissible on the YouTube channel. Let's see if there's any anything else here that I could get into. But this is all about my therapy, my unconventional therapy, and all the crazy making. I guess I'll just leave it at that. I was going to read some more for it. What about the day at the park? Did I say that? I don't know. Well, I can't just go through the whole book here. Here I'm writing him about the psychologist that I had sex with. Drinking vodka again now after the session from hell with Jim. I told Jim that I was tired of accommodating him, putting his needs above my own. I told him that he was a hypocrite for the fact that he doesn't want me to react, but it's okay for him to. He wasn't listening to me. He wasn't even trying to understand. He sat there defensive, biting his thumb. When I asked him how he was feeling, he said, this is your therapy, not mine. Later, when I asked him what he was thinking, he said, I'm at a loss. I told him he did well telling me that. It was the best thing he had said the whole session. So, he didn't even know what to do with me. He said he was at a loss. This is the psychiatrist, psychologist that I had a 2-year affair with. Let's see. Is there anything else here? To sum up Dr. Geist now, I would say he's an omnipotent narcissistic doctor who took it upon himself to rescue attractive women by love bombing them. It was exciting and fun in the beginning until his wife started complaining. Then he pulled away, as all narcissists do, and became cool and withdrawn. He also worked 12-hour days and had a revolving door of patients. I told him that he saw more people and gave less care. When he was first seeing me, he saw a few patients and gave more care. He made many mistakes with me, which led to my alcoholism. And I go on to, saying in detail all the things he did that he shouldn't have done. So I hope you purchase the book. You can also purchase it on Kindle. The Kindle version, I think, is only $2.99. So just a little break from Carl Jung's archetypes. We'll be right back into them next time.